Designs. Austin, good afternoon. You have continued to say this will be a busy month. Just a few days to go here in April, but I think since we last talked, Tennessee picked up another prospect on the defensive line that you told us about last week. What have you heard about Tennessee's latest commitment?
Well, Tennessee continues to do a good job on the recruiting trail, Josh. And, they've kind of been very, selective, methodical with the, how they've went about constructing this class to this point. They've got some really solid pieces in play, and they're in on a ton of big-time guys. And I think that's where, if you're Josh Heupel, you really like kind of where you're at with this class, some really foundation pieces, and then you're still swinging at some big-time guys, whether it be Jaden Riddell, Williams Winery, Ryan Wingo, Mike Matthews. And, I know Tennessee really likes, Jeremias Heard, who, is right now labeled a defensive lineman, but I think projects offensive line long-term. He's near 6'8", 6'7" and change, legit measurements, 11-inch hands, 36-inch arms, and 300 pounds. So kid's an athletic specimen.
Goodness gracious. A lot of players in the transfer portal. Now where Tennessee is after winning the Orange Bowl and the program certainly being in a different spot as it was 12 months ago, do you hear about players from the portal contacting Tennessee, wanting Tennessee to recruit them?
I don't hear a ton of that. There's been a few that have reached out to players at Tennessee. But for the most part, it's kind of been, a little slow this time around. Tennessee don't have many spots. They've had one kid go in, Amari McNeil. I think there's probably at least one more that goes in. But, realistically, there's just not that many players in the portal right now. And, again, there have been a few that have reached out to, players at Tennessee that they know or whatever, but none that Tennessee has been head over heels with. And the biggest thing right now, and I talked about this when we taped our Volquest Mailbag podcast a little while ago, is if you're Tennessee, if you're taking a kid in this wave, it's got to be a position that you just have to have, a better quality of player. Like let's say like right now, like Prince Colley, who is from Davy Crockett High School, highly thought of coming out of high school, went to Notre Dame. He's in the portal. 6 or 8 months ago, I think Tennessee probably takes a long, hard look there, and probably if they could land Prince Colley, takes him. Right now, I don't think they do because they like where they're at linebacker, but they're specifically like where they're at with their younger linebackers. And you don't want to take a transfer and then cause one or two of those younger linebackers to go, what the heck? Like, they say they like where we are, but, here they're bringing this guy in, that causes knee-jerk reactions, causes kids to go in the portal or, frustrations. And, like, if you like where you are with your younger players, you don't want that. So I think Tennessee likes where they are from a chemistry standpoint. If they could add an offensive lineman, I think they absolutely would. They talked to the kid at Wyoming. He has since committed to USC. And, but outside of him, there's just not been a whole lot of traction out there. They've watched some kids. They've, maybe inquired about one or two. But, you try to do your due diligence. Why is said kid leaving? And, you may, make a call about a kid, but then realize, he's leaving because of this. We don't need that headache, blah, blah, blah. And then they don't ever do anything with it. So, right now, like I said, I don't see a whole lot of movement. Maybe one, maybe two max, but probably just one goes in the portal between now and when the portal closes. And right now, I couldn't tell you that Tennessee's definitely going to land anybody out of the portal.
Austin Price is with us from Volquest. He joins us each week thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. You probably were hitting on a little bit of it there, but now that we're more than a week removed from the end of spring, what sense do you get of how Tennessee's coaches feel about the overall depth of the roster, if you want to compare that to where they would have or how they would have felt a year ago maybe? How does Tennessee staff feel heading into the 23 season?
2 years ago, drastic. Last year, still a difference. They feel like they're a deeper football team. Again, doesn't mean they'll have more wins because you can't get a real feel for team chemistry until the season gets here. Because right now everybody's happy, right? Everybody's competing. No one's upset. The only people that are really upset and that are leaving are people that just aren't a factor. So like anybody that you feel like is in your too deep has grand visions of winning the job in fall camp and all that stuff. But so you can't replicate the chemistry side of things at least for a few more months. But Tennessee is a deeper football team. They're a deeper football team at linebacker. They're a deeper football team at defensive line. They're a deeper football team in the secondary. I think they're a more talented football team at tight end. But you can't get a feel for what you lost in Princeton Fant until you start playing games without Princeton Fant. And Princeton Fant had such an impact on this football team last year as that Swiss Army knife guy who caught balls, caught Utah passes, took handoffs, did all these different things. I think Tennessee feels like they're in a really good spot at wide receiver. They love what Squirrel's done this offseason. They're big fans of Dante Thornton, Brew McCoy, Ramel Keaton. But, again, you lose Jalen Hyatt and his production. He's the Biletnikoff Award winner. Like, you don't replace a guy like that just easily. That don't mean that those, two that, will predominantly play slot with Thornton and Squirrel White can't have similar type success. But, again, unproven, haven't done it yet. Much like a year ago, Jalen Hyatt hadn't done it yet. So some things you're just not going to know. But I think on the whole, they feel like, hey, we could, one or two injuries or whatever wouldn't, put us behind the eight ball. Like last year, 2 years ago, the right injury or the wrong injury could have put Tennessee in a really tough spot. And now I think they feel like we can withstand something like that because there's more depth on this football team across the board.
Austin Price, he joins us each week thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs, making it unique, making it special, making it just for you. They want to be your jeweler there at Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. Austin, we'll let you go. Did we miss anything, though, that Tennessee fans should know about what's coming up maybe in recruiting or anything else Tennessee-related?
No, I guess the biggest thing is the coaches are out on the road. They're out seeing a ton of players. Jerry Mack's up in Salem, Virginia today seeing Peyton Lewis. Peyton is a guy that, Tennessee likes a lot. It's trending well for. The next big recruiting weekend for Tennessee will be their Memorial Day weekend event. And that's where I think you'll see a bunch of players come back in, and then that's kind of the run-up to when official visits start in June. And so I think the month of May will be relatively slow, at least until the middle part, and you might have a firework or two in the middle to the late part of May, and then, again, June officials will be the real unlocking of a lot of things in recruiting.
Austin Price, Volquest.com. Again, every week, thanks to Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. Great insight, Austin. Thank you for the time, as always. We'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.